Uh, this will be our module 5. Topics which we are going to look into today will be on enumerations and basics of enumerations. Um, Enumeration is one topic which we actually see in the advanced Java section, right? And once we are familiar with the classes and objects, uh, exploring much of the concepts regarding towards these class and objects via the enumerations and collections and framework, and it goes on. So yeah, enumerations was not actually there in the previous versions. We started to have this enumeration from the fifth version, it is JDK 5. So if you ask me what exactly is an enumeration, enumeration is a set of or a list of constants, or it's a list of named constants, right? These are the variables, or these are the constants which do not change, right? Or you can also call it as these are the final variables. Okay, so what is that enumeration and how do we declare it? For now, when it comes to the types, we have arrays, we have many other data structures to hold any of the fixed values, right? Like fixed values in the sense the constant values. So enumeration here gives us the same facility, but we can use or apply much more uses, right? We can extract the uses from it. So enumeration will be declared with a keyword called as enum, and followed by the enumeration name. So enumeration name here for this particular code or this example is Apple, right? Apple has many varieties actually. So here we have Jonathan, Golden Dell, Red Dell, Winesap, Cortland. So these are the varieties of apples which are available. And here these 5 varieties are actually constants, right? So these are called as enumeration constants. So uh, like the way how the class or the objects can be created from the class, we can also create enum objects, right? We can also create some objects related to the enum. So furthermore with this, in this case, Apple is one of our examples. So once we have the enumeration, we have to create the related type of that, right? So how do we create the type? For we have the enumeration name, that is with our example here, Apple is our enumeration name and its type is AP. So we are declaring that particular enumeration variable so that whenever you want to deal with any of the examples, whenever you want to get any information out of these enumerations, you can access via this particular type, whatever you have declared. So AP is a variable and it's of enumeration type and belonging to the enumeration Apple. All right, so next is if you want to get any of the information, say, what is there a red Dell which is present over here? Yes, you can get it. You can get it using the type of whatever it has. For example, this assigns with a new value. If you want to add any of the values, if you assign this value, which is of enumeration type Apple, so this can easily hold what exactly we are actually talking about, because AP is a variable type of Apple and it can hold similar types which are belonging to that particular enumeration. Okay, so so assigning in the sense you're assigning via the enumeration with the dot operator followed by the constant, whichever you have. So two enumeration constants can be compared using this comparison operator here, or which we call it as assigning operator, where we can compare whether AP whatever we have previously, what do we have? Red Del V is what we have, and followed by is it equal to whatever we have with the other one, the golden Del, right? And it goes on. You can also use the switch statements using the enumerations. So here, whenever you're using a variable, and that variable should be of type Apple enumeration. Okay, so whatever the cases which you actually are using it, for example, AP is of Apple, and AP can hold the value what? AP can hold the variable Jonathan, Golden Dell, Red Dell, Winesap, and Cortland. So these are the 5 types of variables which it can actually hold. So yeah, using the switch statements, we can use this enumeration and gradually use in our application. So the case is that the name of the enumeration constants, which are used without being qualified by the enumeration type name, that is winesap, uh, not apple.winesap. I hope you understand here. Here it is not like assigning whatever we have the value. Whenever you want to assign, you use equated with apple.winesap. But whenever you're looking for it, you can straight away give the enumeration constants. Why? Because as the type here, AP is already fixed with the enumeration. No need of calling this with the enumeration. Okay. So that's how the switch statements work whenever it is matched with the cases. With these enumerations, you can write down your code and end it with the break as usual. So when an enumeration constant is displayed, such as print using the printing statement, you have to give in the format of whatever the value which you have, that is whatever the enumeration dot what exactly is the constant. Okay, so we have a small example how it looks like. We'll look into this particular example here. So yeah, this is a program dealing with the enumerations, the first part. And as you can see here, execution of a program always starts from where? From main. But we also have a enum class, which is enumeration of particular name of Apple, and it has these constants which it can identify. So we are creating a type of enumeration that is AP. We are assigning that AP is equals to Redl, and here I'm printing out what do we have in AP. So obviously we get to see that Redl is what the answer, which we will be seeing over here in the first line. Then followed by I'm reassigning AP as Golden Dell. Always remember you cannot actually assign any other values apart from these. That's one beauty of the enumeration. We cannot assign any other values apart from these which are actually defined. So now my new AP is Golden Dell, and I'm checking out with if AP is equated with is the same as that of the Golden Dell. Yes. So for our condition here, AP is equals to Golden Dell, and system.out.println we the second statement which we are going to display is AP contains Golden Dell. Now we are putting it into the switch statement, and AP is what do we have in AP type? We have Golden Dell, and the case Golden Dell will be selected. Golden Delicious is yellow is what will be displayed, and obviously the control comes out of this statement. All right. So once I run it, so I'll be looking into the output of value of AP will be equal to whatever it was assigned, that is Red Dell. Red Dell AP contains Golden Dell, and Golden Delicious is yellow is what our output will be looking like. All right. So similarly, if you want to change any of those objects, you can easily change. For now, what I'll do is I'm not going to assign this value. I'll comment it. So once again, I run it. This AP is no more equated with Golden Dell. Why? Because previously it was assigned with Red Dell, and automatically that value will no more be present in AP. This statement will be a false statement, and this statement will not be like printed. Straight away it goes for the AP. And now what do we have in AP? AP we have the Red Dell. So what do we have in Red Dell? Red Delicious is red. So Red Delicious is red. All right. So this is what exactly the enumerations look like. So I'll give some other value which is not present in my enumeration arithmetically, you see that red L1 cannot be resolved as it is not a field. That means you have to choose only those values which are present in the enumeration. All right, this is one program which is actually dealing with or starting with the advantages of using the enumerations. Right, so as we saw with the output of these, next following with the enumerations, we have something called as values and values of methods. We'll try to understand what these values and values of methods actually specify. So all enumerations automatically contain two predefined methods. That means whenever using enumerations, these two are already present. Which are those? One is values and the other one is values of by default. Right? Why? Because these two methods are utilized in order to print whatever we have in those particular enumeration. Right? So enumeration type dot the function name will return few values. Right? We'll try to understand how exactly this program works. So before that, we'll try to understand what do we mean by values method. So the values method returns an array that contains a list of enumeration constants. Remember, my enumeration is not an array, but calling this values method will be returning a array that contains the list of enumeration constants. Got it? So here, this is the syntax. So what will be my return type here? Return type will be your array whenever you call the method. You got it? So what does the values method return? Values method will return the array. So what does that array contain? The array contains the list of all the enumeration constants. What about the values of method? What does the value of method return? The value of method return the enumeration constant whose value correspond to the string passed in the string. That means this values of method is actually looking for a particular parameter. So whichever parameter you send it over there, that corresponding value will be returned. So what is the return type here? It's the same as that of the enumeration type. All right. So the case of the apple enumeration shown earlier, the return type of apple.values of wine sap is wine sap itself, because we don't have any values for that as of now, not assigned. So wine sap will be the wine sap itself. So we'll try to understand the beauty of this particular uh, okay. This is the one. Okay, so this Apple type 1 is already like defined. That's what it says in our previous example. So what we'll do is I'm just changing it off with all the values of apples. Okay, and apple over here. Even this is apple 1. Any other place where we have neglected already defined? Okay. We have a small issue here. Mm, Okay, enum2 object clean clean. This type for is already defined. Okay, so yeah, because of previously which enum which was actually created, it was giving us this error. Okay, we're actually looking into the case of values and values of method. So looking into this program, starting from the main, yeah, of course, we have an enumeration called as apple, and this apple is having some following types: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types actually. And here we have type AP, which is of enumeration type apple. So yeah, it will print here all the apple constants. And I'm using apple dot values. Always remember, you have to assign it back to an array which is of type apple. It's your duty, right? If you misplace it, messing up will happen. So now, whatever 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which was of type enumeration, you converted everything into the array type. Now you use an iterator that is of type A via the array all apples, right? So this for loop will actually iterate all the indexes which are present in all apples, right? It's you don't need to specify what is the order which from where I'll be starting, not required. You can straight away look into, I mean, this particular code will start from index 0 to the last element which is present in all apples. So it takes the first element from all apples array, put it in A, and we are printing it. As simple as that. So what are the things which will be displayed now? We shall see that. Basically, Jonathan, Goldendale, Reddell, Winesap, Kotlin will be actually printed, right? Printed, and at the end you have one more line which is left off. And other thing is of the Winesap with the Valuesof method. Valuesof method actually takes a parameter of the string which is present in the enumeration, and it returns that value towards the AP. So what it returns, the string value of it. Okay, so system, okay, printing this AP contains now Winesap. Basically, that will be my output. Let's run it. So once we run it, we have here are all the Apple constants, and starting from the values, as I told you, all the indexes from this will be displayed. That is how many enumerations I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all the 5 will be displayed, and the Valuesof will return the string value of the string value what you have sent. That enumeration value will be printed. So AP will be containing Winesap. So whatever the values which you are sending here, it will be printing it. So this is the work, or this is how our values and Valuesof statements actually work, right? So that's of type, another type. We also have the next applications of Java enumerations are related with the class types. So here, a Java enumeration is a class type, although you don't initiate as an enumeration using a new keyword. It has all the other capabilities of that of the class. How do we know that? See, enumeration, at the space of enumeration, we have the class usually, right? So class name followed by the variable list. And here also enumeration name, and followed by the list. The fact that enumeration defines a class gives power to the Java enumeration that enumerations in other languages simply do not have. You can give them constructors, you can use the constructors, that's what it says, and instance variables and methods, and even implement the interfaces inside these enumerations also, right? So it is important to understand that each enumeration constant is an object of its enumeration type alone. That means if you are having an enumeration of apple, you cannot create the lists which are presenting in the apple will not be actually compatible with another enumeration. Thus, you define a constructor for an enum, the constructor is called, when do we have that constructor called? The constructor is called whenever an object is created that is in class. But the constructor is called whenever an enumeration constant is created. We'll look into that, how exactly it works. Also, each enumeration constant has its own copy of an instance. And here, of instance defined by the enumeration. So considering this example here, so we have enumeration of apple, and how many constants do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These constants are put up with some value 10, 9, 12, 15, and 8. Okay, so we also have initialized a variable called as price, and it is private. That means this private price is only seen by this enumeration of apple. Okay, so next we have a constructor of this enum, and constructor will have the same name as that of the enumeration here, and here it is gaining some value that is int p. So this price will be equal to that p. So we also have a function over here called as getPrice. So what does this getPrice do? GetPrice will return the price value of whom? Of whatever the constant which you are sending. That's what this program actually does. And we know that execution starts from the main, and we are creating an enumeration type of AP, and we are displaying Valuesof costs something cents, right? So we are displaying all apples and prices. So for that, if you want to print all, then you have to convert all the enumeration constants to what? To the array, right? So if you want to convert into array, you will be using the values function, and using that values function, you will be printing all the values over here, right? So yeah, let us see what exactly this. So of course, what is this class name? Class name is two, and okay, we have a small. The values of local AP is not used. Yeah, we'll make. So clean the project. Okay, so running this application. Okay. Yeah. So what will be the expected output for this particular application program here? That's for main. AP print, so Valuesof costs, apple.valuesof.get price plus cents. So what do we have in Valuesof? So Valuesof is having 15 as value, right? So it is in the get price, it gets the value of 15. It gets the value of 15, and 15 will be printed over here. You can see over here. So Valuesof costs how much? 15 cents, right? Similarly, when you want to print all the values, so all apple prices followed by, as I told you, this for loop will actually print you, uh, actually gains the value from the array. And for that, if you want your enumeration list to be converted into an array, you use what method? You use the values method, and we know that values method will actually return the array. So basically, this is an array. You can actually use it or create in another way also, right? You can create it outside and specify it with. We can specify it with array 1 equal to this whatever the value, right? So that will also be fine. And here, instead of and one more thing here, what do? We give the value of array 1. One more thing is it's an array. Yeah, even in this way also you can write it. So if I run it, gives the same value. But in order to make our life simple, we are straight away giving this particular uh, statement itself over also. Basically, we are just making our code much more compatible, right? Even if you run, you will get the same thing. So this is an array where it needs to look into. So array's first element is what? Jonathan. So it takes the Jonathan over here, and in the Jonathan A, it prints Jonathan here. Jonathan costs A. Jonathan dot get price. So what do we have with Jonathan dot get price? Get price will return the price of it. So what's the value? 10 is the value. So it returns the value 10. So in this place, 10 will be placed and cents. So Jonathan costs 10 cents. So that's with the Jonathan. Next, it goes to the Golden Dell. So Golden Dell, 9 cents. Red Dell, 12 cents. Wine Sap, 15 cents. And Cortland, 8 cents. All right. So this is a basic way of getting the value and getting to see how exactly enumeration behaves as a class. All right, so this is a basic explanation which you can see over here. And yeah, you can also, um, there are some applications where, I mean, there are some constants which do not have that particular value of something, right? So what to do if I do not have any value? It's a very basic, simple application here. What I'll do is I'll just take off this from here to here. It's what it's doing is it is returning the value as -1 for the value which do not have any value which you are sending. A very small example, right? So what it does is if whenever it sees with no value in the parameter list, so the constructor what it does is whenever it sees a parameter, it returns the price. Whenever it doesn't see a parameter for this red del constant, it is returning -1 as its price value. All right. So very simple and basic example for what if we do not have any values which are given for the type. All right. And yeah, we'll stop at this point and we shall discuss about the inheritance and much more examples related to the enumeration in our